Hello, and welcome back to White Glove Watches. My name is Bo, and today I'll be doing a review on the Certina DS First Ceramic. So I picked this watch up from Joma Shop for about 148 bucks. It comes in a white or a black dial version, but the black dial version is about 230, whereas this one was 148. Pretty sure that's because this one comes with this truly hideous patent leather, thick padded, shiny, it's just bad. I'm sure it's well made, but I have a metal bracelet coming for this. Right now it's just on this cheap rubber strap so I could wear it. If you get this watch, you're definitely going to have to replace the strap. Unless shiny white patent leather is your thing. Other than that, it's a fairly nice watch. Let me run through the dimensions and the specs real quick. It is 41 millimeters in diameter. It's a 51 millimeter lug to lug, which is fairly large. I'll go through that in a minute. It's only 12 millimeters thick, including this domed sapphire crystal. It has 22 millimeter lug width. It does have this white ceramic bezel insert with a nice domed sapphire crystal. I like that Certina case back. I really love their turtle logo. It does have a signed screw down crown and is good for 200 meters of water resistance. The crown is signed with DS for dual security. I looked that up. What that means is there's a gasket on the crown. There's another one in the stem. There's something special about the gasket on the back. I couldn't really understand what they were saying. And then the movement itself is suspended by an elastic band in a cushion of air. So this is actually designed to be dropped from about 6 meters. It's kind of a Swiss G-Shock. So I do like this watch, but it does have one kind of major flaw. Let me put it on the wrist and show you. Normally I don't have any kind of problem with like a 54 millimeter lug to lug. But there's no curve to this case whatsoever. So it really sticks out, even though it wears perfectly fine that way. It's never quite comfortable. So I guess I don't really mean to say that this watch is uncomfortable. It does wear okay. It's just not quite as comfortable as most of the watches I have. It really does wear a lot larger than its 41 millimeter diameter, which is okay. I mean, I bought it for a day-to-day, just grab and go beater quartz, which it's perfect for that. But honestly, unless you have like a 7 3/4 inch or larger wrist, I really wouldn't recommend going with this one. So close up, the finishing on this watch is very, very nice. It is a Certina. I've heard good things about them. This is the first one I've ever had, but it does not disappoint. It is a mix of brushed and high polished. The brushing is nice and fine, reflects the light beautifully. The high polish on the bezel and this transition line. Very beautifully done. The edges aren't laser sharp like some of the other watches I have, but this is one of their base models, and it is much sharper than a Timex or something along that line. I really wish the case had a little bit more curve, so it would be a little bit more comfortable. I would wear this thing every day. The bezel, it feels a little light but I don't mind that at all. As you can see, it's easy enough to turn with gloves on. Nice and clicky. It's got kind of a weird sound because I'm pressing down on it a little bit too hard because of the gloves. Everything lines up perfectly. The ceramic insert is really nice. I love the mild dome to that sapphire. The case back is probably one of my favorite parts about the watch. I love the Certina logo. Very deeply machined in there. It's got the sandblast surround, and the rest of the case back is all high polished. The dial is nice, clean, and simple. It's got loomed hour markers, loom filled, although not that much loom. But then, as you can see, all the edges are high polished, so it really does grab and play with the light all the time. I like that everything is just black against white. It's very legible, very easy to read all the time. It does have the date window at the 6 o'clock. I don't believe the black version is color matched, but I'm not quite sure. Everything else is just printed, very simple. As you can see, the second hand lines up perfectly with the minute track that runs around the outside. The hands are just your basic sword hands. I don't know, I like a simple watch a lot of the time. Some of them get way too busy. If it wasn't for the way that this one wore extra large, it would be understated even though it's the white on white, which is usually fairly loud. So when I first got this watch, I thought that the loom was only on the 12, 3, 6, and 9, but it does have a tiny bit on every single one of the hour markers, which makes for a really cool pattern. Now the hour and the minute hands stay nice and legible for probably about 3 hours. Would I buy it again? You know, I'm really not sure. I have to get the bracelet on there to see if that alleviates some of the way that it wears. It's a really well-made watch. It's a very pretty watch. I like the fact that it's super durable. I like the fact it's Swiss. I like the fact it has sapphire. But at 148 bucks, there's a whole lot of other stuff out there. So I really can't give it a 100% yes, I recommend buying this watch. If you have a larger wrist, if you have an 8-inch wrist, this is a great watch. But 7.5-inch down, I mean, unless the bracelet that I get really helps with the way it wears, I'd have to say no, I probably would not buy this watch again. Which kind of kills me because I've heard a lot of really good things about Certina, and I can see everything else about the watch is really nice. This definitely reinforces everything that I've heard. It's just not all that comfortable for day-to-day use. I don't think I'm going to sell this watch. I mean, I definitely like it enough to keep it in my collection and wear it every once in a while. But it's not the grab and go that I was hoping for. And on that disappointing note, that's about it. If you'd like the video, please hit like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.